Principle of Management, Unit 1, Part 2. In this unit, we'll cover features and functions of management. So first, management is a goal-oriented. Management integrate human, physical, and financial resources. Management is a continuous process. Then management is all-pervasive. Management is a group activity. Okay, so these are the five importance features of management. Okay, so in various textbook there will be the more features which are being are there, like it is dynamic in nature, it is tangible, then it has a separate from ownership situation in nature. But these are the five major importance features of management. Then we move toward the functions of management. The functions of management are common to all alike, whether a business firm or a non-business firm. Management primary function is the satisfaction of the stakeholder. Okay, now who is a stakeholder? All those are attached to the organization. It can be the supplier, and it will be the your customer, employees. Okay, your finance provider, capital provider. All they are the stakeholders of the company. This typically involves making a profit for the shareholder, for creating value product at a reasonable cost for customer, and providing rewarding employment opportunity for employees. This can be achieved only when management accomplish its function. A diagrammatic representation of the function of management is under planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. Okay, so these are the five most important functions of management. Management has been described as a social process involving responsibility for economical and effective planning and regulation of operation of an enterprise in the fulfillment of a given purpose. It is a dynamic process consist of various elements and activity. These activities are different from operative functions like marketing, finance, purchase, etc. Rather than these activities are common to each and every manager irrespective of his level or status. Different experts has classified functions of management. Okay, so management is what social process, and it is not only like operating activities like finance, HR, marketing, purchase, administration, but it is more than it, and it is applicable everywhere. Okay, so according to the different experts, they have classified the management. So according to the George and Jerry, there are four fundamentals of management, that is planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling. And according to the Henry Ford, this is very important. According to the Henry Ford, to manage is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, and to control. Okay, so this whatever has been said by the Henry Ford is a very important quote. Management is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, and to control. This is also one of the definition of a management given by the Henry Ford. That is, to manage is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, and to control. Whereas Luther Gulick has given a keyword POSDCORB, that is postcorp. Very important concept, and you should remember this because whenever you take admissions for your highest studies, like if you want to take a admission in BMS and you have to give the entrance exam, that type such questions has been asked. So, and this is very important concept which has been elaborated by the Luther Gulick. Okay, so POSCOP everyone should remember, where P stand for a planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, D for directing, CO for coordination, R for reporting, and B for budgeting. But the most widely accepted are a function of management given by the Kuntz and Odell. That is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Now, what is planning? It is a basic function of management. It's dealt with chalking out a future course of action and deciding in advance the most appropriate course of action for achievement of a predetermined goals. Okay, so as you already know, management is to achieve the predetermined goal. And how you are going to achieve it? It is a very important that it should be achieved through the proper planning. And planning is one of the most important and the first step in when you do management or you move toward your goals. Okay, so it is a basic function of management, and it deals out like how you are going to reach the predetermined goal. Then according to the Kunz, planning is deciding in advance what to do, when to do, and how to do. It bridges the gap from where we are and where we want to be. A plan is a future course of action. It is an exercise in problem solving and decision making. Planning is determined of course of action to achieve desired goal. Thus, planning is a systematic thinking about ways and means for accomplish of a predetermined goals. Planning is necessary to ensure proper utilization of human and non-human resources. It all pervasive, it is intellectual activity, and it also helps in avoiding confusion, uncertainty, risk, and wastage, etc. Okay, so planning is what? Planning is very necessary to ensure a proper utilization of human and non-human resources so that it is uh, rightly directed in the direction where we have to reach towards our goals. Okay, so planning is a basic function of management. Then the second function of management is organizing. It is a process of bringing together physical, financial, and human resources and developing productive relationship amongst them for the achievement of a organization goal. Okay, so what is organizing? It is basically bringing together all the physical, financial, and human resources and developing a productive relationship amongst them for achievement of a organization goal. Then, according to Henry Ford, to organize a business is to provide it with everything useful or its functioning. That is raw material, tools, capitals, and personnel. To organize a business involves determining a and providing human and non-human resources to the organization structure. Organizing as a process involves identification of activity, classification of grouping of activity, assignment of duties, delegation of authority and creation of responsibility, coordinating authority and responsibility relation. Okay, so organizing has a various process involved in it. That is what? Identification of activity. You have to first identify all the activity, then classify those activities in a various group, then assignment of duty. Okay, so you have to assign certain duties to a certain skills people. So according to their skills, their experience, their knowledge, you should give a particular type of activity to the particular type of group so that it has been organized in the proper way. Delegation of authority and creation of responsibility. Delegation means what? You have to give or you have to share your responsibility. See, all the work you cannot do alone, so you have to share your responsibility on others. Okay, so you should share, you should give your work and let them be responsible for that particular uh, work or a task, because this is something very important. When you have to do so many things, you cannot do it alone, so you should choose the right people and delegate them the responsibility. That means share your work with them and give them the responsibility of doing things. Then coordinating authority and responsibility relationship. Then you have to coordinate the authority and your responsibility relation. Okay, so this is what actually the functions of organizing. Okay, or you can call it is a process that is involved in the organizing. Then we have our third function, that is staffing. Okay, now what is staffing? Staffing is nothing but placing the right people for a right job. Okay, it is a function of managing the organizing structure and keeping it manned. Staffing has assumed greater importance in the recent year due to the advancement of technology, increasing size of a business, complexity of a human resources, etc. The main purpose of staffing is to put right man on a right job. That is, square peg in square holes and round pegs in round hole. Okay, so you have to fix up particular type of people for a particular type of job which can be done in the best possible way by them. Then, according to the Kunz and Odell, managerial function of staffing involve managing the organization structure through proper and effective selection, appraisal, and development of a person to fill the role, design, and the structure. Staffing involves manpower planning, estimating manpower in terms of searching, choose the person and giving the right. Okay. Then what is staffing involves what? Manpower planning. You have to plan your manpower. Means what skills they have, how much knowledge they have, what are the experience in that particular field or particular type of job. Then you have to give them a particular type of a job or a role to be performed, that is giving a right person a right job. Then you have to recruit and selection and placement thing. Okay, so you have to recruit. Okay, so you have to define your job role in a perfect way so that the particular type of people will apply for the particular type of position. Okay, that is called a recruitment. Means you have to first define the job role in a perfect way. Then from that, the people who is going to respond to the recruitment, you have to select a right people and then you have to place them in a right job. Then once they are placed, you have to give them a proper induction, proper training and development course, or proper training should be given to the people so that they can do their work in a proper way. Then remuneration is also the very important part, because you have to give a right salary to the right person. Okay, so that they will get motivated and they can do their job in a perfect way. Then performance appraisal. Okay, so you always have to check on their performance. Okay, how well they are doing their job. Okay, and if they are doing it very good, in a very good way, then you have to always give them a certain type of rewards. Okay, it can be a monetary, it can be non-monetary rewards, but you have to always give them certain types of rewards so they can feel motivated of what they are doing. So you can always give them a proper promotions and a transfers of the job, so that transfer is generally given for the promotion purpose. If they are the promoted to the higher position and that vacancy is in other state or the other branch of the organization, then they can shift there. Okay, that is called as they can this is how the performance appraisal is given to the people or the staff of the organization. So staffing is also the one of the most important functions of the manager, where you have to put the right people at the right job. Then the fourth important function of a management is directing. It is the part of a managerial function which executes the organization method to work efficiently for achievement of organization purpose. It is considered life spark of the enterprises which set it in motion the action of people, because planning, organizing and staffing are the mere preparation of doing the work. Direction is the interpersonal aspect of a management which deals with directing, with influencing, guiding, supervising, motivating, subordinate for the achievement of an organization goal. Directions has the following element: supervision, motivations, leadership and communication. Okay, so now directing is something which is action oriented. When we do planning, when we do organizing or when we do staffing, it is all the theoretical aspect which are we are just doing it. But when we direct the people, it is something which is very action oriented, it is purposeful. So it is a very very important part or in fact important function of the management. Okay, and it deals with the various elements like you have to supervise, you have to motivate, leadership, communication. Okay, so supervision implies overseeing the work of the subordinated by their superior. It is an act of watching and directing work and worker. Okay, so we always have to do the supervision of what the person is doing. Then you have a motivation. Okay, so it means inspiring, stimulating, encouraging the subordinate with zeal to work. Positive, negative, monetary, non-monetary incentive must be used for this purpose. Okay, so negative here, it means if someone is not able to do the particular task, then they can be given some another task. Okay, so your negative doesn't mean that you have to tell something bad about the person or like that, or about your staff, but it is like if it is not fit for certain position, you can just put him to the another position. Okay, so motivation means inspiring and stimulating or encouraging the subordinate with zeal to work. Okay, you always, motivation is one of the important aspect where the you to always have to motivate your employees so they can give you their best. Then the leadership, okay, may be defined as a purpose by which manager guides and influence the work of subordinate in desired direction. Okay, so management is what it is defined, leadership is what it may be defined as a process by which manager guides and influence the work of subordinate in desired direction. Okay, so you have to become a role model, you have to guide them, you have to direct them, you have to influence them with your activity or your code of conduct. Okay, that is the qualities of a true leadership. Then communication, communication is a process of passing information, experience, opinion, etc. from one person to another. It is a bridge of understanding. Okay, so communication is a process of passing information, experience, opinion, etc. from one person to another. So so it bridges the gaps of understanding. So right communication will encourage employees to do the right job, or right task, right activity can be done by them. Then we have a fifth most important function, that is controlling. Okay, so once we do planning, organizing, staffing, then we do directing, all should be have a control. Okay, we always have to observe what has been done, how the whenever we implement something, we have to watch whether it is going in the right direction or no, and then you can control, have a control on that. It implies what? Now controlling implies what? Measurement of accomplishment against the standards and correction of deviation, if any, to ensure achievement of organization goals. Okay, so you have to see whatever has been planned, whatever has been implemented, whether it is going in the right direction or no, or there is certain gap. Okay, so when you, and then you have to control certain thing. The purpose of controlling is to ensure that everything occur in conformities with the standard. Okay, so we have the fixed standard has been fixed of the work. Okay, so this will be, has to be achieved by the particular person in the particular job. Okay, or the task has the certain standard, so you have to see that whether that particular task has been achieved as per a predetermined standard, or as there is certain gaps. If there is a gap, then you have to control it, you have to start improving it by giving a proper training or proper instruction to the employees. Okay, so an efficient system of control helps to predict deviation before they actually occur. So according to Theon Hyman, controlling is the process of checking whether or not proper progress is being made toward the objective and goals, and acting if necessary to correct any deviation. So according to the Kunz and O'Donnell, controlling is a measurement and correction of performance activity of subordinates in order to make sure that the enterprise objectives and plans desire to obtain them has been accomplished. Therefore, controlling has the following step: establishment of standard performance, measurement of actual performance, comparison of actual performance with the standard, and finding out deviation if any. Then corrective action. Okay, so you have to first put on some standard of measurement, that what work is expected. Okay, then you have to measure what is the actual output put by the staff member or the person who is doing the job. Then you have to compare what is the gap between the standard performance which is expected and the actual performance which has been achieved. If there is any deviation, means there is any difference in it, okay, and that difference is huge, then you have to take a corrective measure to bridge the gap, okay, or to minimize the gap of actual performance and a standard performance. And that's why you are going to have a control on whatever activity you are doing. Okay, so these are the most important these are the five most important functions like planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling plays a dominant role to achieve the targeted goals of profit maximization and increase market structure. In part 3, we'll cover importance of management. Till then, happy learning. Thank you.